Hey everybody, it's Hayden here once again, and welcome back to the channel as it's time to put on the smooth jazz, bolt on the wrong tyres, and sit down for a little bit of a chat, in a return to my opinion series, Pressing Issues. Now, unlike Storytime, which is told as it happened with very little opinion or bias, despite a few people crying that it is biased, Pressing Issues is brain to Microsoft Word document to mouth with no filtering mechanism whatsoever, which allows me to become a little bit, Malcolm Tuckerish.
Come the fuck in or fuck the fuck off.
Now today, off the back of the Azerbaijani Grand Prix into the Spanish Grand Prix, I felt it's time to address something that's been going on for far too long, and that is the continued fuck-ups from Ferrari and how it's allowing Mercedes to win. Again. For the fourth race weekend in succession, the Reds dominated the free practice sessions, with Leclerc constantly putting in fast lap times, with general consensus around the paddock being that finally, Ferrari will put that monstrous pre-season testing pace into something that will make Mercedes go, fuck. Except no. Yes, we're still hearing the same old regurgitated Ferrari is 7/10 faster crap from Toto, but let's be honest, if people are stupid enough to believe that, then he's going to keep on doing it. As it has been for the last few races, Mercedes have been nowhere in practice, being as much as a second off the pace, to suddenly being within a tenth or two or even right ahead come the end of the third qualifying session. But this isn't new. This has been happening for far too long. The 2018 season looked for a while like it would go down to the final race at Abu Dhabi, but Ferrari saw the Asian implosion of 2017 and went, how can we do that again? That was fun, wasn't it? The period between the German and the Italian Grand Prix saw a possible shift in the top spot, as Ferrari seemed to have finally gotten the upper hand over Mercedes, who have had a grip on things since 2014. But they couldn't make the advantage pay. In the words of one YouTube personality, Ferrari is fastest when it doesn't matter. While most of the implosion would be down to Vettel's inability to keep the car pointing in the right direction, Ferrari also seems incapable of making the smart calls when they need them most, something Mercedes gets right 95% of the time. At Monza, when Vettel needed a clear track in front of him, decided to give Raikkonen the toe that pissed off Vettel enough into making a mistake as Hamilton went for an overtake. There was Singapore, where they put him on the wrong tyres and had performance way off the pace at a track they should have dominated at. And then in Japan, they sent both Vettel and Raikkonen out on intermediates on a drying track. All this cost Maurizio Arrivabene his job, and was replaced by JJ Abrams lookalike Mattia Binotto, and Raikkonen was dumped for up-and-coming superstar Charles Leclerc, who looked for a time to be the breath of fresh air Ferrari needs to take it to Mercedes and especially Hamilton. But it seems that Ferrari's pit wall is not seeing the same thing that we all are. Leclerc has been on the receiving end of team orders at least 3 occasions this season, which has finally made the "down to me, it's James" lot go quiet finally, and was comfortably fastest in all 3 practice sessions in Baku. Ferrari sent him and Vettel out on the medium compound tyres while everybody else was running on softs, meaning they had to push harder, earlier. And Chuck binned it. Vettel almost followed him. Nico Rosberg said they were overconfident and tried to be too clever starting a race on the mediums, for sure, you know. And I agree. With Nico Rosberg, that's how fucked up things are right now. I mean, seriously, this is Ferrari we're talking about here. The most successful team in Formula 1 history and possibly the most successful team in motorsports ever. Alright, Porsche comes close, but it's actually embarrassing what's going on right now. And yeah, I'm not a Ferrari fan. I'm accused of having an anti-Ferrari agenda because I'm a biased Brit that wants them to be the pantomime villain, apparently, according to one commenter. But to be honest, I don't need to do that. Ferrari's doing a grand job at doing it by themselves. But I'm actually at the point now where I'm actually embarrassed for Ferrari fans. And I never thought I'd say that. This is the team that virtually every racing driver, simulated or real, wants to drive for. They're the most successful team, the biggest name. But they keep fucking up in ways that a team of that stature should not be fucking up. Now, being British, I want to see the British drivers do well, whether it's Damon Hill, David Coulthard, George Russell, and Lewis Hamilton. But I want them to earn it. People are complaining that Mercedes is running away with it again, but it's not because of the car being OP like it was in 14, 15 and 16. They've got nearly double Ferrari's points haul because of the sheer amateurishness of Ferrari's pit wall. And because of the tactical ineptitude, Mercedes are cruising. Happily. Enzo Ferrari would have probably sacked the lot of them by now. They've got a brand more iconic than anything else, and it shows. A real world car channel does a video ragging a 458 round the Nordschleife, it will get you 1 million views. Do the same in a 911 and you'll be looking to get half of that. And that, in a small way, is part of the problem. The badge. It's almost as if the badge is enough. If you've seen Rush, and if you're a motorsports fan you probably have, and if you haven't, what's wrong with you? You'll remember the scene when Niki Lauda says, all these resources and you build this pile of shit. And the engineer says, shh, you can't say that, it's a Ferrari. History and your status mean fuck all if you've got nothing recent to back it up. Look at Leeds United. Pretty good in the 1970s, but what have they done lately? If this had been Haas or Williams or Toro Rosso, it wouldn't be so bad. But like I said, this is Ferrari. Considering how big their pockets are, the extra 100 million they get for being the oldest team and the amount of input they get in the rule packages, it's humiliating beyond all belief that they have not won anything for 11 years. It's like a kid making up the rules in the sandpit as he goes along and still, somehow, ending up losing. And the one person that seems to be getting the shitty end of the stick here is Charles Leclerc. The longer the race went on in Baku, the longer it looked like he was being hung out to dry. This fueling theories that even at this early stage of the season, Vettel is being favoured by Ferrari in their typical defined 1-2 driver lineup, as shown by Leclerc on his older tyres getting passed by Bottas, Hamilton and Vettel. But Ferrari could have been hoping for a safety car, given the F2 race earlier in the day spent more time behind it than they did actually racing. All that said, we need to look at the drivers as well as those on the pit wall. In one car, you've got Sebastian Vettel, who seems to spend more time spinning than doing anything else. Back in 2016 at Bahrain, when Vettel struggled to get past Bottas in an inferior Williams, I suggested that Vettel can't race unless he has a clear track ahead of him, and was crucified online for it. Now we've seen him have moments at Baku, Hockenheim, Monza, Suzuka, Austin and Bahrain. 6 spins or mistakes in the last 12 months. Not something a 4-time world champion should be doing. In comparison, when was the last time Hamilton binned it in a race, under pressure? Yeah, Interlagos doesn't count because that was practice and the season was already over. When was the last time Hamilton absolutely crashed out under pressure? 2009, maybe? I don't know. Let me know. And then we got Leclerc. It seems to me that he's overdriving the car to try and prove himself to his new employers, trying to show them that he is the one that should be going for Ferrari's first Drivers' Championship since 2007. The sort of, look at me mum, no hands! Mum! Mum! Look! Notice me! But Ferrari seem insistent that Vettel be given right of way, as shown by the team orders debacle we've seen already. But like I've said, at least everybody stopped going, Valtteri, James, aren't I original? So what does Ferrari do? I've always said that if you want to win in Formula 1, call the British. Mercedes builds its cars in Brackley, not in Stuttgart. So maybe Ferrari needs to go back to how it was in the 90s and 2000s. In 1993, Nigel Stepney went to Maranello and instilled British Army levels of discipline into the mechanics and pit crew. It took a few years and the arrival of Ross Brawn to really turn it around, and Ferrari became this absolute juggernaut in the late 90s and through to 2005. Now all of that dream team is long gone and Ferrari's being run badly, almost just coasting off the team's name, as if that's all you need. Ferrari needs someone in that factory to whip them into shape. They need a Malcolm Tucker. Well, they need someone that isn't a fictional character really. They need a Patrick Head, another Nigel Stepney, another Ross Brawn. And they need to realise that it's Leclerc that's the future and stop trying to get Seb to be the one in front, because that's not going to win them anything. Charles is a quick kid. He needs to be the one challenging for a title. Ferrari needs to put this number 1, number 2 bullshit behind them. It works when the car is way better than the pack like it was in the Schumacher dominance years. It's not going to work now. Look at how Mercedes are playing it, and take a page from their book. It's not 2002 anymore. And what the fuck was with that pit strategy? Were they trying to rig it so that Charles will be fighting Verstappen and not Vettel? The more the season goes on, I'm becoming more and more convinced they're holding Charles back. Absolutely fucking embarrassing. And I doubt Ferrari will learn. Instead of shooting themselves in the foot, they've taken the shotgun, pointed it at their own face, and gone full Kurt Cobain. So what do you all think? Leave your comments and let's get a discussion going, because that's what Pressing Issues is for. And if you want to take it further, you're welcome to join in my Discord server, where I'll be letting you know whenever I'm online in Assetto Corsa, where you can do track days and races with me, and also chat to fellow subscribers about anything and everything. Also, thank you to my patrons that are on your screen right now on Patreon, who have contributed in gear donations or monetary donations, and I'm very thankful for both. And as always, like and subscribe to get all the latest from this channel. So until next time, I've been Ada Millward. Have a great day wherever you live in the world, and goodbye.